No break, no jam, no sense. A joro jam, a joro, joro, joro. Attention.
Podcast as always. I'm Ohiz. You guys know the boys already. Ifeanyi and Okiki.
Yeah, we out here, man.
Come on, and today we have a very special guest with us. Today we have Misha in the building. Oh God.
Here we go.
Here we go. But yeah, before we get into anything, like, how are you in the midst of just everything going on in the world right now? I think that's an important question to ask.
Well, I'm good, but obviously there's been a lot going on this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apart from that, everything's good. Everything's cool. We're still in a pandemic. We're still locked down until mid-Feb. But I'm hopefully looking at holidays because I need to get away.
Where are you going to?
Watch, they're going to tell us we can't leave the country until we get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then I'm going to be stuck here.
Oh, it's happening
Turn into a
slowly,
zombie.
but speaking of that, like, we obviously, people, our viewers are going to be watching this, are going to hear the twang, and you're going to be our first, American guest. So kind of get into that.
How Ohiz is quite gassed.
He's gassed.
I'm not gassed about anything, bro.
Ifeanyi has a partner in crime.
But yeah, let's get into that. How did you find yourself in the United Kingdom?
Oh my God. So this is a long story, so I'm going to make it extremely short, right? So I was born here.
Really?
Yeah. Did I not tell you that part?
No.
Okay,
That's crazy.
so
We'll get to know each other then.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go then.
I was born here, and my parents relocated when I was 8 years old to Florida. So I grew up, did my education, and like started my adult life there. And then I came back here and did uni. So I'm here now.
Interesting.
So you're technically British.
I'm technically British, but I don't sound it. So I would
At
never
all.
really be like, oh, I'm British, because then people start with, well, that doesn't make sense. And then I have to go into my life story.
Yeah,
So I just
you're
go,
not trying
yeah,
to do
cool,
that.
whatever. I'm
No.
from Florida. It's cool.
Yeah,
So he's I
Florida.
feel sorry for. That means he's still alone.
Fuck.
Oh my God, I get called all the time I get, called the American in the group, but I'm not even American. Nothing about me is American. I just
But tell them
went to
how much you
school
love the country.
I don't love nothing about the country. You just saw.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Like a
okay,
couple days ago.
okay, that's
right
cap.
here.
Okay, that's cap. That is even I know that's cap. Like, we just saw what happened in America the other day. Like, there's nothing. I won't say nothing, but America isn't the place to love right now, bro.
2019 was the funniest time because before I go to bed, we're just talking about America.
Always,
Wake up,
every single
America,
time. Each
America,
town,
America,
Houston.
America.
I did
The
not
Lord
know
just carry you
this.
with your chest, bro.
Oh.
I mean,
How long were you there?
each town.
3 years? About 3 years.
He literally came off the plane and went back on.
He went there on tier 4 being aggressive.
What's it
Oh,
here
man.
for? But no, America was, a very formative part of my life, so big up America for that. But how was it for you? Like, again, there's only so much that you can get into, but then there's a story behind you. That's why I wanted you on the show, because I feel like there is a lot that people can learn from your story and just how you've gotten to this point. So how did you go from, okay, I'm in Florida, I'm doing my thing, and then now I'm here in the UK pursuing a medicine degree?
How did it go? Right. Okay. So when I was in high school, I did allied health, which was like a part of a college degree that you could do in high school.
Yeah.
So I did that, and we went to like nursing homes and places like that and did hours of community service, which gave me the college credits that I needed. But I wasn't an American citizen, so I couldn't go to their universities without paying international fees. So I had to leave the country, and that's how I ended up back here.
That's pretty That
Right,
is
exactly.
pretty smart.
But then I came here and I wanted to do a medicine degree, but they wouldn't accept me because I had equivalents. I didn't have like A levels and O levels, and I'm not technically an international student. So then their question is, where are your A levels and your O levels? You need to go back to school. But I was already in my 20s by this point, and I was like, there's no way. I'm not going to go to school with at least like 18-year-olds, 17. I'm not doing it. So I took an access course, and now I've been at uni forever. but I'm finally getting where I want to get. So
I feel
That
you.
is
Fair
the
enough.
important thing.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like one thing as well that I just kind of want to get to again, like feel free to speak or not speak about a lot of situations. Like I know a lot because I live with a medicine degree student. Like I know it's hard to do, but then balancing that with the fact that you have a job. Again, if you want us to cut this out, we can.
The
The
kids,
fact
is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Go ahead.
having the 2 kids and whatever, so we have it and having a job as well. So it's just like
A lot.
it's a lot to
It's
see
a lot.
the absolute least. So how do you like balance it all?
You must be
Oh
the greatest
my
of all
gosh, like,
time.
mentally, it kills me. I'm gonna try and not curse, guys.
No, curse all you want. What?
Mentally,
Tell
it
these
fucks
niggas-
me bad. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. I have my days where literally I can do nothing but be in bed because my brain is like so far gone with all the lists of things that I have to
You need
do,
to
either
do,
for
yeah.
uni or for the kids or for myself.
Mm.
But it's always myself last, which is what I'm trying to work on right now.
Mm.
So basically, just to rewind and kind of like give your viewers a little bit more insight on what's going on.
Mhm.
I'm a locum pharmacy dispenser, which basically means that I travel around the United Kingdom and dispense medication for the NHS.
Mhm.
I do it like this because it fits in and I can pick and choose when I work.
Mm.
I don't have to take a shift if I don't want to, and I don't have to go back if I don't feel like it. There's no pressure. It's just like an easy flow thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously I've got the 2 kids.
Mm.
Last year I was also a cheerleader, so that was a
Oh
lot.
shit.
Um,
First.
like I'm a competitive cheerleader. I've been a competitive
Ooh.
cheerleader since I was 13. But that's for me, and that's where I have to make time because I have to do things that are for me. I know you've got me on Snapchat. I also go to the
Yeah.
gym a lot. I'm always in the gym. I have a personal trainer. Those things help with my mental health.
Yeah.
I also go to counseling once a week just to offload because I don't
Yeah.
have anyone else. I don't have like a family structure.
Yeah.
I don't have a partner. So
Mm.
these things are difficult, but
I
you
feel
have to
you.
find a way to support yourself and build the best foundation you can. Because at the end of the day, I'm raising 2 people that will eventually be adults,
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
and I can't fuck them up.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
One thing I'll
No.
say, yeah, she is such a cool mother because Christmas,
thank
yeah,
you.
when I'm literally just like on Snap and wherever, like I'm seeing bucket. You post a lot on Snap, by the way,
I
but I'm
do.
seeing
My reality show.
bucket loads of snaps of just her kids like opening presents and all that. I'm just like that actually put a smile on my face. Like genuinely, like just seeing them happy.
How old are
you
they?
know?
If you don't mind that.
They're
me
8 and
asking.
10.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh.
Shit.
So they're like
Nice.
at an age where it's not too hard anymore, but it's difficult in a different situation.
So when were the hardest cheers then?
So obviously, like now they're potty trained. I don't have to worry about them
Yeah.
shitting on themselves in public. Like, we're good.
I feel
Quite
you.
literally.
I'm not carrying diaper bags around with me because I gotta
Yeah.
find places to change them. We're not bottle or breastfeeding. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
But they are at an age where they ask questions,
Mm.
and I have to have answers. And
Yeah.
our foundation is spiritual. We're Christians, so I
Okay.
have to make sure that my answers correlate with
I
what
feel
I'm
you.
trying to teach my
Mm.
children,
Yeah.
even if my lifestyle doesn't. And I
I
think that's where it's
see.
hard because I'm still raising myself.
I feel you.
I feel
Yeah.
you
I
so
feel you
much
so
on that.
much.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have to also raise them, but I have to like remove myself a little bit from the situation
Yeah.
and try and be more of a parent in a way that I guess foundationally I think is best for them. And they are great kids. Like, I have absolutely no problems with them whatsoever.
I would hope not.
Apart from the fighting, like they try to kill each other, but I feel like that's just normal behavior.
Yeah, 100%.
I read somewhere
yeah.
in a sociology book that like the way that brothers and sisters create a bond is the fighting and the arguing. So as much as it irritates me, I have to allow them to find a balance with themselves.
There's some,
Yeah.
Were you an only child?
No, I'm one of 4.
Interesting. Oldest, youngest, middle.
My brother is older than me. He's 34, and then I have 2 youngers. So like 20s and like I think the other one's 16 or 17.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
But my life has been completely different. Like I got married when I was 17.
That's really interesting because like you've had such a different experience to us. I mean, I can imagine me getting married at 17. My pops would have killed me.
Well, like now that I have kids, I look
Yeah.
at my daughter who's 10. She's gonna be 11 next year, next month, and I'm just like, 17's around the corner.
Yeah.
17's around the corner. Like, and I know you guys, and I know people that are younger than you, and I'm just like, I could never look at these kids and expect them to be pregnant and like being married and like starting a house and a family, and like this is life. But honestly, I felt that was life. From the situation that I was coming from to being in that was the biggest escape for me. And I felt like all I want to do is be a mom and a good wife in life. I didn't have any other aspirations for myself until I got to a point in my life where I realized this is not it.
So it gets like that. Everybody needs that.
Would you say you rushed into it then, or
I didn't rush? Okay. Oh gosh. Okay.
It's a free space. That's
I know. I'm thinking in it. I'm like, okay. So basically, my household was extremely abusive. Extremely abusive. And it was so abusive that I used to run away all the time. And the police used to bring me back. This is another thing about police in America.
fuck the police.
Yeah, fuck the police. I opened up and told authority, like police and like Department of Children and Families and things like that, what was going on, and nobody helped me. They used to just take me back to the house. And I was at a point where it was just kind of like do or die. I ended up joining gangs, and I ended up just running around with people. Like I never did anything bad. I wasn't like out there sleeping with people or anything like that. It was just literally escapism. And the gang was like the family structure that I never felt I had at home. So then my thing was just like, I'm going to make this family that I've never had. And as soon as I was married, I could leave my house. And as soon as I was pregnant, that was my family.
Oh, so the marriage thing was almost kind of like just a way to legally escape.
Yeah, but as a kid, I didn't see it as like a
You didn't see it like
escape.
that.
Yeah, I seen it as this is going to be my life because my life is horrible, and this is what I'm going to make for myself. And he was great. He loved me. He took care of me. But as soon as my daughter was born, I was just kind of like, the environment that we lived in was not an environment to raise a child. And I had to leave. So when she was about 3 months old, I left the country. And then I kind of went back and forth for visitation, but I never stayed there. And I think through that, being here and being there, I kind of realized like I need to do something with my life. Like I need to make money legally.
Emphasis on the legally.
Right. So I became a legal drug dealer because now I'm a pharmacy dispenser.
That's cold.
That's cold. That's cold. That's
So,
cool.
yeah, I
Living the
graduated in life.
dream.
Legally.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, it's
It's a lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
I was gonna ask a question. I was gonna ask if your perspective, you know how you said that, when you had your kid and you then realized that, this might not be the best way to raise a kid. Did anything change when you had the kid? Like anything particular about you, or you've always been the same person since?
No, I left. Like we literally lived in a crack house.
Oh,
and
okay.
I got up and I left, and I left the gang life behind, and I walked away from everyone, and I don't really talk to anybody in that situation. And
I feel you.
It was literally that deep. Like I looked at my child, and I was like, "There's no way. Like I am not gonna have ATF knock in my door and take my kid.
Yeah, 100%.
Like why over what?" So no, it was like it's time to go, and I left. There's things in my life that I do wish that I would still change, but I also have to be easy with myself and let myself know, like, I'm only 28.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a kid still.
Yeah, you
I
are.
still have growing to do, and I missed so much of my life. Like, I got married, and I was just a wife forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it was just, there was never anything about me. What did I like to do? It was always about my kids and my husband. So now I can look at what do I like to do. I didn't even know like what hobbies used to make me happy because I would just go with what anybody else wanted to do. If the kids wanted to do that, that's what we were doing. If he was interested in that, then we'd go for that. So I've had to take time to relearn and get to know myself.
Yourself,
yeah. I really respect that because again, I keep saying it, but her Snapchat is literally a whole TV show. But like when I met her, we were at a socially distanced brunch. Anyways, cool. So then we were there, and then when I met her, she just seems like, this cool, like outgoing party type person. And then she's just going, talking about her life, and then she just dropped this up. 2 kids. I was like, oh, what? And then she kept going, and it was just like, wow, that you? Wow, this is interesting.
But wait, the only reason we started talking was because our link to Nigeria, and I feel like that was important. I didn't just walk up to him and start offloading.
Because I just kept going, I was like, what on earth? I was like, because I literally saw you, and I just thought, because you were with Big Up Sabrina, but then it was like,
Good day.
oh my god. But yeah, it's like I was thinking, it's like, oh, this is just maybe somebody in our course I just happened to have never seen before, or whatever the case may be. And then obviously you dropped your age and a little bit of your background. Even now, you said stuff here that I was like, oh, I didn't know that, and wow, you was so strong for getting through everything, to say the least.
You didn't know me because I just started socializing.
That is a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, I have really bad social anxiety. Like, I'm a very outgrowing
You would not
person.
be able to
And-
tell
and
that
people
from
think,
social
like,
media
but
at all.
This is what's hard for me. Like, social media is easy because I'm just recording what I would normally be doing and sending it to you guys.
Yeah.
But if I was to rewatch my snaps, I would probably delete them.
No, fair enough. I can't argue with that.
Right.
So I'm guessing you don't rewatch your snaps then.
I try not to, like,
Oh.
unless it's something to do with like Christmas and the kids, and then I'll be like, oh, which one do I need to save or whatever like that, or I might just save the
100%.
whole story and wait for it to pop up so I can figure out which one I want.
Yeah.
But I try not to watch them back because I do go, cringe. But then I'm like, why are you cringing? Because of what other people might think? Then you have to leave it.
That's so important. That is so important.
Right, so then I have
She's
to leave
dropping
it.
bars, bro. Dropping bars.
That's so important, bro. But then even with that, yeah, obviously you live your life, and I take pride in the fact that you obviously like, okay, I'm gonna be a good mother, but at the same time I have to live for me now. So then how do you almost like distinct that? Because there's one side of you where I'm the good mom, like, oh, if I saw you get your son a ball, don't worry if you ever need someone to teach him how to ball or anything. Like, we got you. But then anyways, I see you being a good mom, taking care of the kids, but at the same time I see you out and about, you know, doing your thing, ranting about men and whatever the case may be, doing your thing. And
But is that not a mother?
yeah.
I think that's the problem. Like, statistically, what is a mother? There is no definition. A mother is somebody that raises a child. It has nothing to do with what I do in my life. My kids don't know what I do.
100%.
I don't have any situations where they're about or around us when we're partying. Like I said, I don't really go out. I've only just started going out over quarantine, which is extremely weird. I don't even know how that's happened. I think everybody was
She
just
didn't say that on camera, but anyways.
social brunches is where I've been going, guys, or places that have like tier 2. I don't even know if I can say that. But so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a lot.
You know what? You know when you mentioned that you have social anxiety, I would never noticed because you walked in here and you were
So
all cheerful. You know.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable if I'm in situations with black people.
Yeah.
Mostly, I feel fine. Like uni was really hard for me for the first year and a half. I didn't go to class. Like every time that I went into a hall or anything like that, they're always on this whole, oh, talk to the person next to you. And I'm like, bitch, no, I don't want to fucking talk to her. Right? And now she's looking at me cockeyed because my edges are big and I got hoops in my ears. Like, no, that's how I feel. So I'm just like, I don't want to be here. And it made me like, I think I developed social anxiety through uni. Right? And then, right? And then through going to the counseling and things like that, I've kind of just had to try and not care as much. But I'm really... Right.
Yeah.
But I can read energy, and I think that's what messes me up, because like I can feel that you're feeling some type of way, and then it puts me off, and then I'm like, well, now I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Right. But I walked in and I was cool. Like everybody seemed great, and
She's praising us, so just say
Yeah, by the way, you see, you come on the show, green
Not before
passport,
calling
we're
you
good,
he's
bro.
Why? Which I support.
okay, that is true.
It's true. I was
Wow.
telling you.
people know you, bro. So it's not just
This is my second time meeting him in person, and I already know that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But then, if you don't mind me asking, just going back to those situation, like, are you still on good terms with the father of your kids?
No, so the guy that I married,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. The guy that I married cheated on me
Oh.
and had a baby with someone else.
Oh.
And I
wow.
found out through
Oh, wow.
Facebook.
Oh.
So this is why I talk shit about men all the time.
Thanks.
And these are not like I haven't had a relationship in 5 years. This is nothing like when I'm always talking shit, it always probably has to do with my baby daddies. But I don't talk to any of them. Not really.
Yeah,
One of them
no.
will pop up once in a while. I didn't hear anything from them for Christmas.
They don't
It
ask for the kids.
What?
Are you serious?
Yeah, no.
That's
No,
disgusting.
I don't get child support. 'Cause
Niggas
I
are
don't
crazy,
ask or
man.
anything.
What?
No. Because like, I have no problem with them having communication, right? But the problem that occurs is their dad is inconsistent, which then becomes a problem for my child, which then I have to deal with.
So you would prefer no communication at all, as opposed to inconsistent communication.
If you're going to be inconsistent, at
Yeah.
least be consistent with your inconsistencies. So,
Shit.
right?
Yeah.
Be inconsistent and drop a text on a birthday or on a Christmas period. Like,
Yeah.
that's being inconsistent because I don't hear from you all year, but at least I kind of know you'll probably say something around a holiday.
I feel you.
So, in that perspective, that's what I would like to happen. But I'm also at the point where I've just said to the kids, like, we have each other. Like, what else do we really need? That they're not
Yeah.
lacking anything in
That's
life.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Have there
Like
been?
I said, you're the greatest of all time.
He's
Really
definitely the
trying.
goat.
Goat,
man.
what?
You're the goat, literally. There's just been any. There's been any times that you've just been like, this is too hard for me. Like times that you were just like so close to just like giving up in a sense.
Yeah, like I've touched on mental health when I say this to you guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know how deep you want me to go into it. But I'm free to go into whatever.
As deep as you feel.
As deep as
Please
you
feel
want, like
comfortable
just
with
whatever
it,
you're
yeah.
comfortable with.
So I didn't really know I had mental health problems until I probably had a breakdown. And it was really bad. And I was just like, why do I keep crying all the time? Like something's wrong with me. But I think the thing with mental health is, who do you call, right? Because it's not a cut. You haven't broken anything. So I was like, what do I do? Like, I don't really know what's wrong with me, and I don't know who to go to for help. But one day it was just bad, and I called the doctor crying, and they called me back. And I went in, and they diagnosed me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So
Anyways,
it's okay. So from then, I've never taken medication or anything like that. I've always just kind of prayed or fasted through whatever I've been experiencing in life.
Amen.
And I've kind of just gone with the flow. I kind of feel like when I'm having my bad times, it's either because a breakthrough is about to happen or I'm being distracted. Like, that's how I have to take it. I have to take this, like, into spiritual world terms because I feel like that's the only way I can realistically deal with it, as well as going to counseling. But my counseling is more just offloading, like I said, what is going on in my life. There's been times where I feel like I've hit rock bottom, but as you grow, your rock bottom never gets as deep as it was before, if that makes sense. Because you kind of like, you kind of like build a foundation under yourself. So even though you fall, you don't fall so far. Or you fall, but there's tools around you that you've collected that you can now pick up and use to help you get back up. So it's definitely
'cause
not
you're
as bad.
learning.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
learn through it. It's
Yeah.
all, but that's life. Everything's a learning experience and a learning curve. And at the end of the day, like, if I don't make it, who's going to watch my kids? Who's
She's
going to raise
spitting,
my
bro.
kids?
Spitting facts.
Dropping more bars than Drake.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Does he really have bars? But anyways, nah,
That nigga's great.
that was I can't lie, that was beautiful. That gonna be a bit teary eyed and shit, but I don't want to get moist.
Do you need a tissue? I don't think we have any today.
But nah, let's get into even livelier stuff. Let's just be happy, man. Like, what do you do? Like, let's just leave. Like, some of that.
We're all good, bro. We're all
Like,
okay.
You're the one crying.
You're the one who's going
It's
through a
my life,
breakdown.
and I didn't even shed a tear yet.
Because I just heard, I was like, God damn. Because I can't lie.
This guy will kill me.
I was like, God damn, that's a lot.
I'm skimming over the edges. I'm not even giving you detail.
Do you get
Oh
what I
my,
mean?
that's not the.
Oh.
Oh.
Imagine she gives you the detail. You
That
start.
guy don't
He
compete.
cried.
You know.
Oh,
I
no.
could die.
Nah, that was a lot to take in. I'm so sorry.
You're choosing the topics here. I'm just answering the questions.
Yeah, I mean, she's literally just answering your questions, bro.
Oh, my God.
You-
Anyway.
when was the time you hit rock
Take this
bottom?
Ohiz? Are you
Or
sure you can ask these questions?
Fine.
Are you sure you can ask these questions,
I'm
bro?
fine. Goddamn. Anyways, you started talking about what you do for yourself, like for yourself, just to have fun and just be happy. Like, what are stuff that you started doing or picking up on recently that is just like, okay, this is something I enjoy?
So, like I said, I had to find myself again. I knew cheerleading was always a thing. So I always cheerlead. Like, I don't mean cheerlead like pom poms. I mean like flipping people in the air and doing stuff. Like, so that's my thing, and it gives me structure because you have to follow a routine. And then when I'm following the routine, I don't think about anything. So that's like me time. And then when I'm at home, I have to like do the routine and like learn it. So that's me time. Music is my savior. Like everything I do.
Speaking my language.
Music is like the de-stressor for me. And right now, like I said, socializing. Even if it's just,
Brunch in
answering
a pandemic.
right or
Yeah,
answering
right.
people back when they text me. Like
Oh my God.
I'm trying to be more social and not just be all cooped up in this whole like I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this lifestyle. Because like my brain never stops. I'm just constantly on go mode, and I need to kind of like pull back.
I was gonna ask you about your kids. I'm so I like kids.
Love
I
kids.
mean, I mean, it's far removed from what we're talking about, but like they're like 8 and 10.
Yeah.
Do you already see different personality traits in both of them? Like, you've raised them the same way, obviously.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, are they very different people already?
Completely different people.
Oh,
I'm just
shit.
gonna add a correction. My son turned 9 the other day.
Oh,
so
9.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
add that in there. I used to tell him he was 5
crazy,
forever.
by the way.
I have a 9 and 10-year-old, guys.
Disclaimer.
Crazy.
That'd be correction.
Yeah, like, okay, so the thing is, right, one of them's a boy and one of them's a girl.
Yeah.
So my girl, she's like me, but like that's why sometimes we don't get along, because she be too much like me, and I'm like, you need to chill out.
You need to chill out because I'm mom.
Right, I'm the mom. Right, this attitude, like, what is this?
And the way you're done shot at her, it's like, God damn, she's just like me.
And then there's my son, and he's a guy. He's very like reserved about his feelings, and that bothers me because I want to make my kids happy. So if he's not happy, and I'm like, what's wrong? Let's talk about it. Is there anything I can do for you? And he's not saying anything. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem, bro? Like, just tell me what the problem is, and I can fix it.
Speak
and then,
up.
right.
Is
So
he the
that's
older
what
one?
he's the younger one.
He's the younger one.
And I think the problem with him is everybody used to talk for him. His sister would be like, oh, this is what he wants. Or somebody would be like, oh, they can figure out what he wants without him actually saying it. So now I think he's at a point where he's not talking about what he feels because he's just like, it's not important. So now we've started doing like emotion journals. So like we journal like his feelings, journal like how his day went, if he's on happy son or sad son. And I just try and do things like that with him so that he can like understand that his feelings do count. And now instead of getting mad and yelling, I just breathe and say to him, well, mommy loves you and I'm here. So if you ever want to talk about it, just come find me. I'll listen. And then I walk away. Because in that way he knows and then I don't get so mad.
Yeah.
World-class parents.
I'm learning about parenting today. Like, this is technique, bro.
And you've only been on the job for 10 years.
A decade. I think it's the longest thing I've ever done in my life. It's like the longest commitment.
Yeah.
Like, people have mortgages for a long time, but this is like 10 years.
You
It's
know what I
like,
mean?
That's two human beings.
And kids, that's one relationship, or that's one job. Being a parent, that's one job that's for the rest of your life.
thank you for reminding me. That's really nice of you.
Oh.
I thought it was when they're 18 they move
That
out,
made them move
but
out.
apparently not.
I didn't know the contract was
For life.
for life.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Being a parent, like,
I was gonna ask again. I like kids, like I said. Do you think
you just have to put a disclaimer like in a non-Jeffrey Epstein
Yep.
way, by the way. Like, I like
I
kids.
mean,
Mine was
it's
wrong
like
with you.
it's only your mind that's going there. man, 'cause
Why are you going
you get what I mean?
He's just been moving.
I was gonna
mountains.
ask,
Hey, relax.
just because I think we were talking about uni not too long ago. Do you think? I mean, not what they'll do, but do you have any plans of making the boy, world-class footballer?
Because we can help with that.
So, I try to not be like stereotypical or like I hate social constructions and all that crap.
Anyways.
So being in this country, soccer's a big deal, and I'm
Football.
just kind of. I'll go for football for you.
Mm.
It's a big deal, and I kind of just feel like it's such a cliche, so I try to keep them away from it. Because eventually we'll live in America, and I'm just kind of like, you're not going to do that anyways. You're going to play American football because I said so, and my daughter's going to be a cheerleader because that's just how it
I thought
goes.
you hated social construction. That's what she just said. She hated
No, but seriously,
Because I said so.
No, but in a non-joking way, like I don't push them to do anything.
Yeah.
If they're happy with whatever they want to do, then they'll do it. He likes football, but I think he only likes it because the other boys play it. Like he would rather do like skateboarding and stuff like that. Like so I want to get him like a motorbike and like a petrol motorbike. Or a quad bike or something like that. Like he's that type of kid. That's what he would like to do. And basketball, he's really good at basketball.
Really?
Wonderful.
You said you were eventually going to live in America, so you prefer that to here?
Yes, just for okay. So like a couple days ago, things didn't look too good, right? We're not basing this off the white supremacy actions. I'm basing this off of my life experience. I don't feel as included as a citizen in this country.
Bro, same, but keep going.
So due to that, yes, I am.
No,
You said C.
Leave me alone and let her continue, bro.
Where are you a citizen?
Nigeria, that's it.
Is that it? You just move around. Are you homeless? No, I'm playing.
Nomad.
No man land.
I'm out.
I could die.
Just move around. Like, the UK is country 3 I've been to school in. Like,
Oh, it's not that bad.
it's not that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't normally meet people that have been in America and been here and other places.
No, we're a special breed. Come on, that's my one.
What have you guys? What about you, travel wise?
Oh, no,
Scott.
Nigeria here.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
same.
Oh, you're
I mean,
boring.
to countries you travel.
Boring. Oh, God. Well, at least they didn't have Trump as their president. I mean, he's not my
No,
president.
exactly. I wasn't there through that
Put
whole
you in
era.
perspective.
Like I left during his whole reign, and then I'll probably go back
After
when
his
Biden,
reign.
is president,
Yeah.
which works great for me because Trump probably wouldn't even let my ass in just for the fact of he don't like people immigrating to his country.
It's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
So that would have been interesting trying to get through the whole like visa processing.
Yeah,
and stuff.
fuck Trump every day. Nah,
Fuck
I
Trump
say it with my chest. He's not
every
president no more.
day. He's still a billionaire, though. Real powerful, man.
Is he really?
Is he really?
Nah, we don't know this.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Is it Iran or Iraq has served an arrest warrant for him?
Oh, yeah. That was like mid 2020, actually.
No, this just happened.
Oh, just recently?
Yeah, they were investigating it and they never did the arrest warrant, but now they have. So what I'm guessing is going to happen in a couple weeks when he's no longer president, they're going to try and do like the whole arrest warrant on him. It's going to be very interesting.
You think it's going to work?
No, probably not.
Yeah, definitely not. Like,
I mean,
But it's nice to
but
think
we can
that-
always dream.
it's the hope that kills you, as
right.
he says.
Him
Nigga
ending
can
up in
always
like
dream,
an
man.
Iranian jail or something, yes.
I can picture Trump in that. He'll look really good there.
With his orange self.
Getting fired every day. Good day.
When you go back to America eventually, are you going back to Florida specifically, or you want to try something different?
I want to go to Florida because that's where like the people that I grew up with are. So I have like good ties to Florida. So I think that's the best
Okay.
place to start. But looking into properties and things like that, property taxes are pretty high in Florida.
Yeah.
So I'd probably move up north, Georgia area type of thing. But to be 100% honest with you, I think I would just go anywhere in the world at this point.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't, like I said, I don't really believe in structure. Like I know I have to have a plan, right? And I'm going to follow that plan. But I don't know if that's God's plan for my life. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I do know that I'm going to end up not here because I can feel that I need to travel somewhere.
I feel you.
So I would go back to America and start there and kind of see what opportunities open up for me after this degree. What opportunities open up with the fact that I'm now an American citizen. Things like that, I feel will push me to where I need to be in life.
So what are you studying again?
I study
medicine.
health and human science.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Ifeanyi, you were gonna say something.
No, I wanted to say that you said you're from Florida, yeah?
Hmm.
I think this is your chance to defend.
Defend
I
Florida.
mean, they don't have the best reputation.
Do you know what's crazy? Like, I saw something. One of my friends told me I should try it. I couldn't believe it. You can put any date on Google, search it on Google, any date you want, and put Florida man, and you will find the wildest headlines. It is crazy. Like,
It sounds like Nige to me.
like how? Like, you have obviously Nigerian roots,
Sign.
and you're from Florida. Like, life must be a jungle for you. Like, how's? Ugh.
I kind of feel like I never really saw anything crazy. Like the craziest thing I remember happening when I was there is this guy that was on bath salts. And like I didn't see it. This was on the news.
Salt.
But it was really bad. And like I shouldn't be saying this because I'm trying to defend Florida, but I'm not technically Floridian, so I feel like it's okay.
Okay.
He was eating another guy's face off on the middle of like the I-95, which is like the motorway for you guys, right? So he's just like, because he's fucked up off bath salts, which is some type of drug. And he was so fucked up. And the police kept shooting him and he wasn't dying. Right? And I just remember,
Jesus Christ. Jesus
I
Christ.
just remember being a kid thinking, what the fuck is going on?
African magic. I mean, let's open the African magic.
Google the bath salt story.
Is this in defense of Florida?
I was just saying, that's the crazy.
They got niggas that don't die down there, bro.
Be
My guy was
careful.
doing a Rasputin.
Florida has lots of different like creatures and animals that I have never seen in my life, and this includes their people. And I'm just gonna say that due to the fact that the amount of shit that happens, I really can't defend them. There's nothing that I can think of that is defensive towards them, right?
Now that you
Even
think
down
about
to
it.
the
Yeah,
fact
Oh,
like
God.
I mean, as an African man, if I saw the police shooting someone who wasn't dying,
Oh, God. I am so.
I'm leaving that city,
good.
that town, bro.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's really funny because you know what? Most of Florida is old people, old retired people, and you would not know that due to the fact that the media portrays it as such like this crazy
Active,
place.
yeah.
active, young.
Yeah.
Let's take you away from Florida for a bit, at least for your mental health.
My
Like,
sanity.
that's for your sanity. Like, what would you say you most identify with? Obviously, I see the chain and your father being Nigerian. So, like, what would you say, like, you more identify with in general?
When people ask, I just go with the whole I'm Caribbean. I feel like it's a lot easier, which is the fact that my grandma, my grandparents are from Montserrat. My mom was actually born in England. Like they came over to help with the steel industry, my grandparents, and my grandma came and was a nurse, but they didn't come with the Windrush, but it was
Yeah,
around
I was
that
about
type
to
of era.
ask.
Yeah. So when they
Sorry, did you say before or after that?
Before
I'm not
Windrush?
sure. I think it was around the time. I'm not. I don't know specifically. I just know that they weren't a part of that because I did ask. And then my grandma had like my mom and like her sisters and everything here, and then we were raised here. So within our family, there isn't that much culture. This is why Nigerian roots are a big deal to me because there's lots of culture. So within the household from my dad, there was lots of culture. But I think I identify more Caribbean just for simple facts of like the food and the music is like what I go for.
Fair enough.
And then the rest of my family is not Nigerian. They're from Montserrat.
Fair
So
enough.
it would just make sense for me to understand that side of things more. But then
Okay.
obviously the accent doesn't help.
Fair enough. You've already thrown in that every Nigerian joke at me in the 2 times that we've met, but hey.
I don't have any more. You'll be happy to know.
Yeah,
I'll have to find
Good.
something.
Get her in the comments, guys. Like for us, defend us, bro. But in general, like, how do you? Actually, that's a good question. Like, do your kids enjoy the UK? Do they enjoy?
I'm just gonna ask,
school,
like,
everything?
you know how you were like, into UK music. What if they start listening to Stormzy,
Dave.
Drill, and Dave? Do you get what I mean?
Well, I think they kind of do listen to stuff because of like their friends
Yeah.
in school or like anything within this society. They're gonna hear it. I don't discriminate. Like I am very free with my kids. I allow them to be themselves and just let them do whatever they want. I'm not
Love
going to tell
that.
them, oh, they can't listen to this music.
Yeah.
They know that we're moving to Florida. It's been a conversation in the household since they were born. So all they ever do is like plan what their rooms in their house is going to be like.
Oh.
They know that in Florida there's more room. They can have the 4-wheelers and they can have the quad bikes and like things like that will be attainable for them. So I think it just makes it more exciting. But if I chose to stay here, I think that they would choose to go to America when they were adults just because of being raised around it.
Yeah.
Because I'm even thinking that for the most part, like, how long have you raised them here in the UK actually?
6 years.
6 years. It's actually kind of, I don't know, it's a really good job on you, because from when I hear them speak, I'm hearing an American accent, but for the most part, you're probably more like the only American around them in general. So the fact that, you know, they've not necessarily picked it up, is just like your influence is there on them.
They have an American accent.
Yeah, but like also, I'm very... we don't really socialize, guys. Like, I'm very like, don't touch my kids, don't talk to my kids. Like,
Fair enough.
There's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. Yeah,
The way the world is right now, I don't blame you.
The niggas is crazy,
There are
man.
weirdos out there,
right?
bro.
They're
You
not
have
allowed to really go to people's house like that, so they're not really like around other people or
Oh, like my parents.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah, like how we were all raised by Nigerian people. There's no sleepovers, right?
Oh no, it's like back.
you want to go there for what?
You want to go?
They can come
They
here.
can come here.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what happened, and then I can keep an eye on what's going on, because as a parent, like now that I'm a parent, I get what our parents were saying. You know what I mean? Like I've put so much into my kids that it's a lot to be taken away from. It's a lot to be chipped at. And the fact that they go to school 5 days a week and they're at school for so long, when I think about it, I have my kids maybe 4 or 5 hours a day from Monday to Friday. What type of influence can I actually have on them? Whatever they're learning is within the school boundaries.
Yeah.
But the foundation was from me. So when they come back, I try to like remold them back into the, you know what your foundation is. This might be what them people believe, but that's not where you're at. You can't act like that. But that's why also I kind of need to still have my hand in it and not let them go out there.
That is such a good segue about the foundation of your kids, because me, obviously, like outgrowing and learning for myself when I've just been an adult, whatever the case may be, there's certain things that I kind of wish that my parents would almost kind of tell me or let me know, like as I was being educated, such as Christopher Columbus wasn't a hero and stuff like that. So,
hey, don't you know that song? Oh, sorry, let me not start. Go ahead.
No, go into it.
There's a song, and I think it's by, I don't even want to know. But anyways, it says Christopher Columbus is a damn blasted liar. And that, like, my dad used to play this, right? So I'm guessing it is some type of, like, big old tune, and there's a verse in there. And that is why I knew. But if it wasn't for that, I would have been around with you, because they teach you this at school.
Yeah.
And it's only when you learn that from your parents that you're like, no, so I need right here.
Have you kind of instilled into kids, like, what it is to be black, or is it a type of thing that you want to let them, like, pick up themselves? Because at the end of the day, sometimes you're just gonna have to learn. Like, I learned I was black, oddly enough, in America. I was.
So is America.
It wasn't Florida, though. It wasn't Florida, okay?
When I explain, you understand. I think I've told you guys this story. I'm not necessarily sure. I'm like,
I haven't heard.
I was 4. I'm in the back of the car. I'm like 3 actually. My mom is, you know, with my baby brother, who is like 2 months at the time. My dad is going out. He's about to put petrol in the car, innit? So basically, my mom comes outside as well, yeah, while my dad goes into the car to get something. And then this white guy goes to my mom and was like, "Oh, you're black. You eat this." And then he's holding a trash bag. Yeah. Yeah. And he's holding a trash. Yo, my dad wanted to fuck him up.
Oh my God, I'm surprised he did.
My dad wanted to fuck. My mom literally had to like pass.
Remove him.
They literally had to drop my brother and hold him like, yo, like, we're all here on visa, my guy. We're all here on visa, my guy. Chill. So
What the fuck, fam?
from that moment, obviously, my mom, in the slightest way, just kind of explained what happened.
How long had you been living in America at this point?
No, at that point, we were just visiting. We're just there for the summer to see.
Oh, and then you went
my
back to
uncle.
live.
Yeah. You know, That's crazy. I can't argue.
Yo, what the fuck?
It wasn't your
That's a
decision.
good one. That's
Wow,
a good one. That's
that is
a
a
good one.
very good point.
Shit.
But yeah, literally at that point, I was just
Well,
visiting.
you need to be asking yourself questions, bro. Important questions.
That was the first time I'd ever been outside Nigeria, period. So when that happens, I didn't really understand what that was.
Yeah.
But my parents explained that it was like, that's called racism.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, eventually, like, obviously, me just being a curious kid, I eventually did more. I was like, oh, that's what racism is.
So
That
people
was
do hate
racist.
other people because of their skin color.
Yeah,
It sounds
How
so
dumb.
bad
Yeah,
when
so-
you say
so
it out
crazy when
loud.
you
How dumb.
define it like that.
Yeah.
See, but some people don't find out that early. I actually had to have a rate because a lot of people like say like other people in our demographic grew up in Nigeria where it's majority black people.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yes, this might be classism or
Yeah,
you know,
but we never really understood.
yeah, but we never really understood racism
I
until you
feel
really
you.
like leave the country.
And
I
live
had
with the
that
white
early,
folks.
bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you kind of like let your kids know
I
like
talk to
this
them
is your
about
reality?
everything because
Really?
everything,
Hmm.
everything,
Mhm.
everything,
Everything.
everything, everything. If they hear something and
Yeah.
they come to me like, because this is what you have to understand. I am starting a basis of a relationship with them. I
Very
want them
good.
to be 16, 17 in trouble and calling me because they know I'm going to help them, not beat their ass. So
Mm.
I need them to come to me now. That's
Wish I
how it
could
all
relate.
starts.
Wish I could relate.
Right, exactly. I
Yeah.
can't relate, and that's what I've done. I feel like I've taken everything I felt like my parents did wrong and tried to like
Flipped it.
revamp it, yeah, into a
Yeah.
better thing for my kids and see how it goes.
Mm.
My parents didn't talk to me about race. It was always just like, so everybody in my family is darker than me. I'm the lightest one.
Oh,
It all
wow.
like goes from dark, 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 and darker, right?
No.
And then there's me. So we take family pictures, and I would just be the sore thumb that stuck out. But nobody
Mm.
ever talked about it. It was never spoken about. And I feel like that doesn't help because it didn't help my mental health. All I was ever told by people around me is that I wasn't black, that wasn't my family, and like
the
that I
fuck?
wasn't
That's fucked up,
I wasn't
man.
black enough to be in the situation.
What the
So
fuck, man?
I think that also comes from, to me, it made me kind of like, okay, where do I fit in? And that's what I was saying, like, I don't feel like I fit in here, but then I don't feel like I fit in a lot of places. But at least in Florida, I had the ghetto shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was down in there and I was good. That's where
Yeah.
I was. Like, even if it's not like the ghetto, there's people that have moved forward from that are more relatable to me than people here.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, I was in a gang, I was doing this, I was doing that, I was running from the police, like, and then have made it to uni with 2 kids. I don't see that. So I know people that have had my struggle that can relate to where I'm from and
move
understand
forward.
me
Yeah.
to help me
Yeah,
move
make it out
forward.
of there.
So when it comes to my kids, I feel like if that's how I felt, my kids are, my son's a little bit darker than me and my daughter is lighter than me. So we are 3 different colors in my house.
Yeah.
And my son will constantly tell me, oh, I'm black. I don't know about y'all.
Oh wow. Oh my god.
That's my boy. That's my guy. Oh my
So-
god.
But it would upset his sister. Like, obviously, I'm like, you know, nigga, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it would upset her because she's also got green eyes and she's also got
wow.
straight hair.
Oh.
And she's just sat there like, this is not fair. And I'm just like,
Damn.
there's only so much I can help you because at the end of the day, it's not even just racism. You're going to experience colorism. You're going to
Colorism,
experience
yeah.
a fuckload of shit. But all I can tell you is I've been there and I've got you. And as to my son, you want to think it's cool that you're black. Let me tell you the list of shit that goes along
You
with your
don't
skin
even
color.
know.
Just hold up for the police.
You don't even know.
Wait for the police.
Right. The first thing, like even before this, before Black Lives Matter kicked off, before there was a whole bunch of protesting, before George Floyd died, rest in peace,
was gonna
before
ask-
all of that happened,
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I was on it.
Yeah, of course, I have no doubt about.
But I
gonna
was
ask,
more, sorry.
Did
I
they
was-
understand the George Floyd situation?
Right. So I had to get to that. But what I was going to say was that I was on it with the fact I was telling them the police are people. So I know you have to call the police, right? And as a kid, like if we're in town, you know, they want to go talk to the police if other little kids are over there. I'm the parent that stands all the way over there because fuck the police, bitch. Yeah.
I feel you.
But I also understand that my kids might need them one day. If they're lost, I want them to go find the police. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Okay.
So I have to make them understand that this is a person in a uniform. And this person, when they're not in a uniform, is racist. If they're in the uniform, it don't make them any less racist. If there's something when they're not, in their uniform. That's just who they are in general. So don't look at them like they're a god. And I think that's the complex that we grow up with. We think doctors fix everything. We think that, you know, the police solve everything. That's not what happens. When you grow up, you realize that has nothing to do with the world. People pick and choose who the fuck they want to help. People decide what they're going to do when they do it, depending on how the fuck they feel that day. So it can't be on I can't talk to them about it. So I talked to them about the police thing. So when the George Floyd thing had happened, it was more of right, now let's add to that. You know, I don't fuck with the police because now here's the example that I was trying to explain.
I've been telling you.
Watch the TV.
I try to show 'em.
Right. So CNN is always on in my house. Whenever something big pops off, I always kind of pull the kids in.
That's really
even
good.
like when Grenfell Towers happened, it was really sad for me, and I pulled them in because I feel like these are historic events, and they also open up lanes for other conversations, and that's when they ask me things.
Do you think there are certain things that might be too much for them?
No, and I only say that
I like
because
that attitude, to be fair.
I only say that because you can tell anybody anything. It depends on what level you're explaining it. You have to be at the level of the child. I wouldn't sit there and then start telling them things in an adult way so that they're like, oh my gosh, or
This
they wouldn't
is a bit too
understand.
much.
I have to break it down to their level and be like, this and that. And if it does get to a point where I feel like it's too adult to explain, I will just be like, I'm not sure,
Okay.
because I'd rather not lie.
That birds and the bees conversation was going to be very fun eventually.
Oh no, we've done that.
Oh?
Yeah, we've done that. Like I don't even remember having that conversation with my parents. I don't think I ever did.
Of course, no, I never had that conversation with my parents.
No, birds and bees.
What's that?
Oh, you don't
Sex.
know.
Yeah, no, we didn't have that conversation.
My mother is going to watch this. I'll just be like,
I'm sorry. Yeah, my kids are like how old, and we talk about it. It's not like we talk about sex, but like obviously they're gonna ask me where kids come from. I'm not gonna lie. So I have to tell them. I did start with the whole like C-section thing. I was all like, oh, you know, you can cut your tummy open and do this and that.
Smart.
But like,
Smart because you're not necessarily lying.
I'm not
And you're
lying.
not lying. Good mother, man.
I'm very free in my house, so I don't walk around fully dressed. So they will see stretch marks and they will ask me questions, and I'll be like, well, because you were inside of me growing. How did I get out?
This is
well,
your fault.
you know, I had to push you out. And then there's like, so things like that will come into play. Birds and bees conversation is always centered around God, Christly way of doing things, because that's what I explained to them. You know, I was married and then I had you. That's pretty much all they need to know. If they choose to do it differently, I've also explained to them, like, that's okay. Because, like, my daughter's at an age where she's watching TV now. And the way that shows are portrayed, it's not the social structure that I have in my house. It's something completely different. So she's like, oh, but they've got a boyfriend and they've got this and they've got that. And I'm like, but that's their lifestyle. If you chose to do that, that's cool. But my daughter is also about to be 11. And when she was 8, she asked to be baptized. So my thing is, I just remind her of the commitment that she made. This is the commitment you made. I didn't ask you to get baptized. You did. And when you said that, this is what you have said. So I will help you be that person. If you choose not to, that's just the path that you've chosen to take.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Like, oh, wow.
The bars are too much. We're overwhelmed here. We're on the rope.
Literally.
On the rope.
Oh my God, guys, I'm tired. I'm like, damn. Y'all are digging deep here.
Nah, can I actually be honest for a second? Like, before we actually wrap up, this has been my favorite episode.
Yeah, it's been a
Oh,
wonderful
thank you,
episode.
guys.
Yeah.
So I can come back.
Yeah! This is my
I'll
favorite
be
episode.
back.
I can't even
Give
sit
him
here
his
like
popcorn.
But I feel like I've told you everything. What are we going to talk about next?
Nah, this is definitely my favorite episode because, again, just from I've known you for like what 2-3 weeks in general, but then there's just been so much. I'm just coming to just find out about you just literally every single time you open your mouth or I open your Snapchat story. I'm just like, oh,
There's something else.
it's like, oh, that's new. Like even when you said the gang thing, I was like,
Oh, you don't know today?
I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, So I just want to say, disclaimer, that my Snapchat is not a whole bunch of bitching. It's just a whole bunch of different things going on at once. If it's not cooking, there's questions that people need to be asking because I'm taking polls about things, or I'm ranting about something, or I'm telling you about something new I've bought, or something to that extent. It's literally a reality show.
Just living your life.
Literally, it goes from Asda shopping to men stalking her. It's really entertaining stuff, bro. I promise. But apart from that, Misha, thank you so much for hopping on the show. Again, this has definitely been my favorite episode. You're welcome back. Please don't attack me as much. It's just fun to have an American around, you know, just someone that understands. That's not boring.
Not like they're not Nigerian to understand you. Your roots.
But yeah, as always, you guys already know what to do. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast from. Please subscribe, support the thing. Misha, as always, thank you so much for coming through. You're more than welcome to hop back on the show.
Thank you,
boys, anything before we head out?
Subscribe, like you said.
Okay, Okiki?
Same. Anisha's the GOAT, man.
She really is. Bro. We're going to put her socials in the description. It's probably going to be flying around somewhere here. But in general, man, you know what it is. Green Passport, we out.
Woo!
Okay. Peace.
Guys, my mouth is hurting from talking so much.